After over a decade of Mario Kart 8, we finally have a brand new Mario Kart, and Nintendo have spent that time evolving the game series by breaking down the barriers and taking the race off the circuit and out onto the open road with Mario Kart World. And while I think this is definitely the best direction for the series, there are some areas where Nintendo kinda dropped the ball, and I just have to talk about it because none of my boys have the game yet and I need to vent to someone, so let's just jump right in. So overall, Nintendo has changed a lot in this game, most of which works incredibly well. The gameplay feels tighter than ever, and somehow it feels well balanced. I think this is because Nintendo has truly embraced the chaos of Mario Kart with 24 players, as in this game you can truly get Mario Karted on a regular basis. So this chaotic nature has made it feel a bit more accessible. But then when you see how grinding, wall rides and charge jumps have got the time trial sickos absolutely feasting with these psychotically technical shortcuts, you see that the skill ceiling of the series has been absolutely blown into the stratosphere, as some of these top time trials are just insane. Now, you might worry that poor casual gamers like this one here could be left in the dust.
What's going on? The game put me in the wrong direction? What? That's a problem. That's a big problem.
But somehow, things manage to feel mostly balanced in multiplayer, just because of how many items and players there are on the course. But also because you don't actually spend that much time racing and mastering the courses. Which really sounds strange, doesn't it? In a racing game where you don't spend much time on the tracks? And this is where my problems with Mario Kart World begin. The only way to really race on a course to learn and master it is in time trials, as when playing the classic Grand Prix mode, which has been a staple of the series since the very beginning. You start on a course by doing a 3-lap race, but then every race after that is a sprint through the open world to the next course, and then you just do a single lap around the course when you arrive there, and that's how every single cup plays out. So you only actually get full 3 laps on the first course of each cup. To me, this just really feels like it's underusing the actual tracks, which is an absolute shame because these are genuinely the best collection of tracks in the series so far, with stunning visuals and great track design. In past entries, Grand Prix was focused on mastering the tracks, as it was simply 4 courses back to back, which was a really fun and easy way to learn the tracks in a more casual way. And time trials were there if you wanted to go into the lab and really grind to shave off every second, but in the process, you would risk becoming a time trial sicko yourself, and just become addicted to insane shortcuts and chasing world records. But this new Grand Prix format in World just blurs the focus that the original Grand Prix had on courses. While the open world is incredibly well designed, it simply can't be as intricately tuned or interesting as a purpose-built course that's designed for racing. The open world's purpose is to connect and build out the world, and not primarily for racing. Now, this isn't me saying that I think the open world is bad or that it has no place in races or cups. It's actually one of my favourite features they've added in Mario Kart Worlds, and I think that the new Knockout Tour Cups is truly the best use of it, and one of the best additions to the series so far, as this elimination sprint race has you going from one side of the map to the other through different courses, and it just works so well and feels like an absolute breath of fresh air. And I've pretty much been playing this exclusively since I got the game. I can't tell you enough how much emotional pain it keeps putting me through playing this online, but I just keep coming back for more because it's so much fun. And I rarely touch the standard online mode now, as again, you're very limited on track selection, and you're rarely offered the opportunity to do a simple 3-lap race around a course. And instead, you're usually offered sprint races that go through the open world to a track similar to the ones in Grand Prix, so you only get to do 1 lap if you're lucky. So now, it's become an unwritten rule that you always select random or you'll be deemed a casual and incur the wrath of the Mario Kart sweats. While of course, it's natural for this game to focus on its open world. I mean, look, world is right there in the title, but while they've overcommitted in some areas, oddly, they don't commit enough in others. Like the free roam mode, it's weirdly tucked away in the main menu. I played for about 2 to 3 hours before I even noticed that it was down in the bottom right. I thought you had to unlock it, which is strange because it's the most unique feature that's been added to the series. You would think they would want to show it off. It feels like the premier mode. And a lot of players like myself were looking forward to Mario Kart finally offering a more single player focused experience, which we hadn't seen in the series since Mario Kart DS. where you could do unique challenges and unlock things. But once you do finally get into the open world, you can instantly tell that Nintendo has nailed it and built an incredibly well-designed map that's just generally really nice to explore and hang out in. In a lot of areas, the vibes are immaculate, and it takes me back to Mario Kart 64, where you could just explore Peach's castle grounds, which felt really novel, and that's still true here in World, as exploring around the tracks and getting a greater sense of the world is just charming overall and surprisingly fun. Also, the open world is packed full of activities like P-switches, which offer up some fun short challenges, as well as collectibles like coins, Peach medallions, and question panels, which are really fun to seek out. But the problem is, the only rewards you get for doing anything is stickers. That's it, for everything. Don't get me wrong, there are some cool designs, but this being the only form of reward is strange for such an expansive map, and I don't really feel a strong incentive to play the free roam, now knowing that all I get is stickers. For even these fun hidden tasks like catching Nabbit, you just get like 5 coins and a sticker, and that's only the first time you catch him. There's no sticker for finding all the Nabbits, it's just the first time you find Nabbit. That's it. It's weird. What's also confusing is that there's no progression tracker for completion, or any markers on the map for anything. So you can't tell how many medallions or P-switches there are overall, or how many you have collected in a specific area. Just how many you have total. But for some reason, the question mark panels do have this when you look at specific tracks, which is weirdly inconsistent. I just don't understand why they built such an amazingly detailed open world and populated it with so much unique stuff like enemies, challenges, and random vehicles that you can temporarily drive, and the only incentive they give you for exploring it is stickers? Besides that, there is the dash food that you can unlock different outfits for characters with, which is a cool touch, as each region will have different food and give your characters a fresh new fit. But then again, this is also inconsistent. Because, of course, Mario has the widest variety with 9 outfits. That makes sense, his name is on the box, that's totally fair. Pauline hadn't had a massive presence in the series so far, so she only has 1 outfit. Disappointing, but fair I guess. But my main man DK, who's been in the Mario Kart series since the very start, has 1 outfit? In the new trailer for DK Bonanza, he was wearing loads of different outfits. It's like a whole thing. And you guys couldn't give him a banana tie or something? Birdo has 2 outfits. Baby Rosalina has 4! You did my man DK dirty, Nintendo. And also the way these characters are arranged by default is just a mess. Why does every outfit have to have a slot? It feels so cluttered and the default order doesn't make sense. But you can filter to have all the characters and outfits together at least. But this should be the default, and why not have a drop down or something like Yoshi did in Mario Kart 8 to select the different outfits? That would look so much cleaner. It just seems weird for Nintendo. Their UI is usually impeccable, especially in Mario Kart. But at least the outfits are cool and the character selection is pretty great overall. And I love the fact that they added the cow and other fun picks like Swoop, Monty Mole, and some freak picks like Coin Coffer and my man Spike, who apparently tears it up in the club by dancing like this, with this emotionless stare looking into your soul. But look, overall, my complaints are incredibly minor, as I do genuinely love this game overall. It's just some of these decisions just confuse me, and I think it's fair to say that Nintendo is not fully capitalized on free roam, which is disappointing because it was sold as the premier mode of the game. The progression could be much better overall, as I already have all the carts and I don't really care to farm all of the foods to get all of the outfits. And also, I'm not really keen on touching Grand Prix again, because it feels too similar to Knockout Tour, and I just think that's a better mode overall than GP. But as I'm pretty sure Nintendo will be supporting World like they did Mario Kart 8 by hopefully adding new tracks, characters, and perhaps tweaking a few things here and there over the game's lifespan, there is a tiny bit of hope I have that Nintendo could patch in a more traditional Grand Prix, with 4 classic back-to-back races and no highway stretches in between, which I really think would make the mode feel more distinct, like a classic throwback to the Mario Karts of past. And that would help inch Mario Kart World just a little bit closer to perfection, as they've done so much right here, and I think this game is fantastic, and again, I just can't wait to be playing more. By the way, if you are looking for a map to track open world activities, the community have actually built their own interactive map. So there's clearly a need and a want for one. I'll leave a link to a detailed video done by Good Vibes Gaming on that, so you can check out more. But that's it from me. I'm going to stop yapping and get back to working on my next video. If you enjoyed this video, please consider dropping a like and subscribing if you'd like to see more. If you're new to the channel, I make a documentary series on here called Complete History, where I dive into the story of how games and consoles were developed. I've covered most of the Smash series so far, and I'm currently working on the second part of my PlayStation series covering the PlayStation 2. Right now there's a preview on the channel here for members and also on Patreon for people who support the channel. Thank you to all of my Patreon members and thank you to everyone who's helped to support the channel. Thank you so much for watching and I hope you've enjoyed this video. I'll see you guys in the next one.